Hey, my guys, welcome to episode 31 of the My Guys Magic podcast. My name is Joe. I'm here with my boy Pete. Say what's up, Pete.
Yo, my guys, Pete here.
So we have a very special episode today. I'm glad to say a very special guest. He hasn't been playing Magic long by most people's standards, but that said, he's been at it for probably nearly half his life. Probably the youngest player currently qualified for the Pro Tour and is coming off of a huge win at the Cincy Regional Championship. Zach Aymie, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Good to be here. What's up,
Thanks.
guys?
Thanks so
Yo,
much
welcome,
for
welcome, Zach, and congratulations.
yeah,
Thank you.
huge congrats, dude. That's a big accomplishment for your age and just in general, right? So, congrats, man. It was awesome to be there for you. I was so stoked. I was running around that convention center during top eight, kind of like a maniac. So I remember like when you cast Jeskai Rev to win the semifinals and qualify for Worlds. But before, like I heard you say Jeskai Revelation, I literally like did a lap in that little area, like right outside the coverage
Yeah,
where y'all were
I
playing.
cast it. I cast it, and I just hear you guys screaming, and then I hear some shit fall, and someone's running around. That was hilarious. I was so happy you guys were there with me.
Yeah, man, I was glad to be there, especially because we talked about our lists right next to each other right before we registered our deck list to start the tournament. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was good. I wish I think you had some tech that I actually did like, but yeah, it was cool to like, build our decks together and test and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it just made it that much more meaningful to me. You know what I mean? I mean, I met you guys, or I met you through Collector Legion folks, and have kind of watched you grow over the course of the last few years that you've been playing the RCs, and it's just kind of crazy that you know to see you take it down. So we always seem to be playing similar decks too. For like the last several RCs, it's like you were playing Elementals in Milwaukee, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I remember the first time I met you, me, you, and Ivan on Four Color Omnath at
Yep.
I think it was Denver.
Denver. Yep.
Yep.
We did a little team draft too. I think you guys worked us if I'm not misremembering that.
No,
I
that sounds
forget,
about right.
but probably.
So so tell us a little bit about like your Magic origin story, how you started playing, how long you've been playing, stuff like that.
Oh, so I've been playing for a long time, for me at least. I mean, I'm 17, but when I want just turning 5, my brother started learning the game, and he wanted to learn with someone. He wanted to teach his little brother, so I got into the game like right about 4 or 5, and we would play together, and we started learning together, and then we like found a pretty pretty terrible LGS near our house, but it had like a good community, and we've just like we played so much there. And then my brother, he kind of like he still knows Magic, but he doesn't really play. But I stayed with it and just kept going.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and so have you been qualified for pretty much every regional championship?
I've qualified for every single RC. I haven't gone to every. There's been a couple like school or something's gotten in the way, but for the most, yeah, I think everyone.
That's pretty
So,
amazing.
yeah, that's pretty good for sure. Is it weird being around like mostly older, nerdier dudes, or is it like whatever, you just love the game, doesn't matter?
No, I just love the game. I mean, there's always going to be some like weird stuff, but for the most part, everyone's, I've always been around like older people in Magic, so it's kind of like used to it, and everyone for the most part has been like super nice, super chill, helping me. Like I wouldn't be where I am without him, so
That's
glad.
good.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I met your dad this weekend. I introduced myself because I wanted to show that we're not all like socially awkward doofuses. Um, Especially because I remember when I played, how my parents felt about it. I played when I was your age and would go to big tournaments and stuff. But my parents wouldn't travel with me. I was mostly just going around like the Midwest region. I'd go to a Grand Prix in Cleveland or Detroit or something like that. And my dad was just like these people aren't gonna like kidnap you and murder you or anything like that, are they? It's just so obviously I think your dad knows that we're not gonna do that to you. So, um, but still, just like it can be. I think it can just be weird for some parents to see like a bunch of adults playing what seems to be a kid game. So I'm glad that you have the support of your parents. That's huge, to
Oh
see
yeah.
Yeah,
your
that's awesome.
yeah, to see your dad there like rooting for you and to see how happy he was for you. That's like that kind of speaks to some of the reason why you've had the success that you have, I think, because you have, huge support from your parents.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm glad for my parents. It since I've been playing Magic like so long, it's like they've been getting used to it and the whole scene as well. Still sometimes like it is a little like what's going on here, but for the most part, like it's just like a usual thing.
Yeah, that's good.
No, no,
So,
you're blessed. That's pretty great. I think I met your mom, right? That was that in Hartford? I
Yeah,
forget.
I think it was
Yeah,
Hartford. I forget
I
which RC, but you did. Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
cool. Pete and I have met each parent.
Yeah.
Nice. Zach's dad was like, it was like I was watching the Patriots. Go high noon, go high noon. That's what he was in there saying. So,
Yeah.
um, real quick, Bradley was on last week, another RC champ. You're the third. How crazy is that? We've had 10% of our episodes have been with regional championship winners. Um,
And yeah, our if you, it's kind of crazy how like stacked we are. Like the Discord too, five RC like it's crazy. It's crazy.
yeah,
It's
we
pretty
have
sick.
a third of the RC winners in our Discord from US RC winners in our Discord. That's kind of cool. Um, so yeah, Bradley was on last week. We did two predictions. We predicted what the top three decks would be each and what would win. So Bradley said Prowess would win, and he said Prowess, Landfall, and Spell Elementals would be the three most popular decks. So he's pretty close, right? So here's the day one percentages, and it's Prowess at 15.9, Landfall at 15.2, and Spell Elementals at 10.6. So he was right on part of it, and but Prowess did not win. Pete, you said Landfall, Prowess, and Lessons, and you said that Demir Excruciator would win. Demir
But
Excruciator had the best win rate on the weekend, right?
well, it had the second best win rate across the four RCs,
Okay.
right?
What had the
And
best one?
I think four color elementals.
Elementals. Okay.
But see, I thought we were talking about South America when we did the predictions, not
Oh,
Cincinnati. So
okay.
technically, I was right.
Because Demir Excruciator won South American RC.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout out to T Chuko.
So I said that Prowess, Landfall, and then Control, if you were to combine Jeskai and four color control. So Jeskai and four color control were 10.8, which was just higher than Spellmentals at 10.6. And then I said I didn't think it would happen, but I thought it was I thought it was possible, but I wanted control to win and bam, you did it for me, Zach. You made me right.
Yeah, I had to beat
Um
the Bradley bet.
yeah. Um and I don't know. I think the meta looked like it had been more or less for the past several weeks. I think the biggest thing is coming out of the Japanese RC. A lot of people saw this four color control list and that tablet was really good and started incorporating that. And so that was really the only major change was that control was more popular at this RC this past weekend. Um,
Well, and there
Mardu
was also
discard. Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say that there was a lot more Mardu discard this weekend too.
Yep, which did pretty good. Um,
It won the Canada RC.
it did. It did. I can pull it up actually. Yeah, It won the Ottawa RC, and then um, it looks like the South American RC was won by Demir. We knew that, and then China was won by Prowess. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It looked like Four Color Control did really good in Cincy. I can't speak to the other events. I didn't have the time to compile all that stuff. Um, but nothing really jumps out of the ordinary. You know, there were these kind of one-off decks that made it into the top 32. Is it Fling, Bant Airbending, and Sultai Control? Um, I don't know. Maybe Bant Airbending had some game because people have stopped playing Torpor Orb, but yeah, nothing crazy otherwise. Um, anything jump out at you guys with this data here?
I did notice. I mean, it's interesting. Selesnya Landfall, both first and second place at the Pro Tour. It had a favorable conversion rate in a day two, like 17% of day
Right.
two,
Yeah.
and zero, not only in the top eight, but also in the top 32. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, even Green White Ouroboros, it's felt like it had a good matchup there against the green decks. I think green was kind of on the downtrend from prior weeks. I just want to take a look at what green looked like previously. So yeah, 15%, 19. I guess it was like 19% last week. Yeah. So it's pretty much the same, but
So
It's
what? All the is it decks teched against it? It's a dog to excruciator, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was just, yeah, when it does well at an event, it's always like that's what's up. Like that's what everyone's going to be targeting, and especially at the Pro Tour. I mean, Four Color Control, I think I was teching against it at least. Spelementals, that's like what they want to play against, and Prowess was definitely focusing on making that matchup better. It's like I feel like everyone was gunning for it. It's still a little crazy though that it had zero, in the top 32.
Right. Yeah, to win a PT and then to have zero, a couple weeks later in Cincy in the top 32 is a bit of a statement. But I think the deck is still good, but maybe people are realizing that you really have to play around Might Form Harmonizer. Like if your opponent puts a Might Form Harmonizer on the battlefield, they can just kill you out of nowhere. So, um, so yeah, Zach, let's just kind of hear a little bit about your tournament experience. Let's start with why you played this deck. Why did you choose Four Color Control? What appealed you to it?
Well, I mean, I liked the four color and control deck for a while. I think the deck was super sick when it was first, being made, but it's kind of garbage, and now it's gotten like so much better, especially with Strixhaven. But the main thing, really, I mean, I was not really prepared to go, and then last minute everything fell in line, so I was able to go. And I always am very last minute with my deck choices. Last RC I switched to elementals with 30 minutes before registration was due, and this one
Nice.
I was just like, I'm just gonna pick a deck 2 days before, one day before. That's like early to me. So I
Yeah,
was told by everyone in the Discord, like, hey, just play the control if you got it. So I was just like, all right, I'm gonna run it. Looks good. Can't be, yeah.
what did you switch off of in Milwaukee?
Honestly, I don't even remember because all I remember now is Procurement. Oh no! Oh, I was on airbending with Ivan. Me and him had
Hmm.
been testing it. We were running airbending. We were working on the lists, and then then I switched to elementals.
Okay. No, that's all right. I mean, do you usually favor control decks, or are you just kind of more of a mid range? Obviously, you were playing Four Color Control in Modern for a time. Like, is that just kind of your thing, or?
I think I do favor like the like more colorful, like slower decks a little bit, like for sure with four color Omnath and elementals and four color control. I definitely don't like aggro decks for the most part, so I think I do. But also just depends. I switch decks a lot. Everything pretty much catches my eye, so hard to really pinpoint like a strategy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what? Go
I
ahead,
get
Pete.
that. No, I was saying I get that. Sometimes I'll play control, sometimes aggro, sometimes combo. It's whatever. And I like switching at the last minute too. So, all right.
Yeah. So now that you won, anything you would change about the list considering how the meta might shift with your win in mind?
Well, I think Control's gonna just keep getting more popular. You know, it won another RC, I think, before this one. I think it was like Japan or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so I assume, Control will keep getting more popular. Probably put stuff more for the mirror, like running the traumatic critique in the one in the main board. Even though I'm not a big fan of the card, I'd also probably, even though I see landfall on a downtrend, I really like the, like I said, that you were running the Hamlet in the sideboard. Like I like you having that tech. I'd probably run that if I was gonna run it back.
Okay. What do you think you would cut from the sideboard if you were going to include Hamlet?
I'd probably say it's so hard. I'm so indecisive, but I was thinking about cutting the rest in pieces actually because you're already so good against elementals, and I actually do like the lessons matchup, and it shuts off your flashback. I was thinking about just cutting the rest in piece and going up behind noon in a Hamlet, but if I was gonna keep Graveyard Hate in, I'd probably cut the Pyroclasm just because it's such a weird card in the meta where it's like other than the prowess deck, it's like it's fine against landfall, but it's not great, and it's not good against spellmentals, four color or Demir, so I'd probably cut that.
Yeah, the only matchup I think where it truly shines is the Ouroboros matchup.
Yeah,
Um,
especially now with like
Otherwise,
I was just gonna say, especially now with like the prowess playing crab, it's like the card's weird.
yeah, I mean it's fine against, in my opinion, it's fine against landfall because it'll clean up Badger Cub Elf, a Chocobo that hasn't had two lands hit, and then it can clean up the um, Bossing Say lands and that kind of thing. But it's definitely clunkier in that matchup, and it's fine against prowess. But I can see how it just seems like it's not where you want to be. But yeah, they're usually what I find is that the good prowess players are just waiting until they have enough interaction to cast a slick shot off of plot and then just kill you that turn. Just they have enough interaction to be able to beat everything, and it kind of
Right. And they're
makes
not
the
doing it,
sweepers not that good.
not doing anything without at least one secret identity in hand, right?
Yeah, that's what I think that they should be playing more Secret Identity, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
So, Zach, did you play against Lessons
Did
in the Swiss?
played against Lessons round two. It was actually a guy I played. I played him at Milwaukee too when I was on four color, and he's definitely like a better Lessons player. So we were talking about the matchup. Everyone seems to think it is up, good for Lessons, but I clobbered him, and I felt, there's definitely some luck involved there, but like I also the matchup has always felt great, for me on the control side, especially with inevitable defeat. I just feel like their win cons are, you know, a two mana enchantment matched with a three mana artifact. It's like I don't know. I feel like you're pretty decent into that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds like it. Because I'm leaning towards Lessons for DC, and Joe is telling me I should play Lessons because it has a good control matchup.
I think it has a better control matchup, right? Because so Zach, kind of going back to what you said, the two mana enchantment and the artifact. Really, the only main deck answers you have for that stuff is inevitable defeat and get lost. Obviously, you have Jeskai Revelation as a way to bounce those things. Um, were you running the one braid in the main deck?
I was, yeah, I
Okay.
was on the one or one abrade, one get lost.
So I mean, you had some answers, but did your lessons opponent get unlucky, or do you feel like they had a reasonable hand, or do
I
you
mean, they
recall?
they got a little unlucky. I think one of the games they had a little like land trouble, but why I like the matchup. is because you have, the get lost, the abrade, the negate, the three steps, and the inevitable defeats that they can counter.
Hmm.
And especially with tablet, it's like they're focusing on putting their like slow stuff into play, and they don't have much interaction. Like they have the two little quenches, but you can get a Jeskai Rev out, and it's just over. And it is like you don't have a crazy amount of interaction, but they still need to get this enchantment, this artifact, and usually with it they want the Gran, which is so easy
Right.
to kill. It's just like I don't know. I felt I felt like you're given enough time to kind of do the stuff you want to do, especially with how much like card draw you have.
Yeah, I
That
think
makes
it's
sense.
something to test. Did you play any Demir Excruciator?
I did. I ran into it once on day one and once on day two, and day one was really fun. My opponent kept a hand that relied on their Thoughtseize into Deadly Cover Up to hit my Jeskai Rev. And my opponent's searching through my deck, and he's like, I don't think you can win anymore. And and he was like, oh, I guess you have the lands. I don't think he was taking it seriously. And then his hand didn't have much he was doing, just a couple removal spells left. And I cast a lot of stock ups and a lot of consults, and I put into play a bunch of Great Halls with counterspells back up, so I got that one. And then game
Nice.
two,
Wow.
he ran out turn seven, Excruciator, no interaction back up, and I cast an outrageous robbery and milled his entire deck. That was fun.
That had to be sick. That had to
Yeah.
I
feel
love
good.
I
Oh
love that
yeah.
card.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. And then day two, tougher, much tougher. Game ones are pretty good, but game two they have like Duress, Oil Deep Gear Hulk, all four Emeritus, like all this card value, like it definitely gets rough. But uh, I got there game one, he got me game two, close games, and then game three I was able to play around his flash freeze with a good outrageous robbery and close out the game just by getting the value, thought seizing him, so he had nothing, and yeah.
Did you ever have any games where you felt like you flooded? And
I had a
um,
I had a few actually. My winning in one of the games against Mardu, I won off my Quarry Mountain. I won because it wasn't really like a super big flood. I can't say because I had all my like interaction, and I had 7 or 8 lands, but that's expected in a 27 land deck. But I definitely was like I need some value here, so I used my Quarry Mountain. But I was getting a little flooded some games, but I wasn't to the point where like I saw some of your games and it was, brutal.
dude,
Some insane land draws. I wasn't getting anything like that, but I had some games where it was like I'd like some interaction, or some card draw, please.
yeah. I don't know how many opponents you know, started to shake their hand, and just before I showed them that I had 4 lands in my hand or 3 lands and a useless counterspell or something like that, I was just like, dude, this is so annoying.
I
But
counted at least 3 or 4. That was tough.
yeah. Um, any like special matches throughout the tournament or top eight that you want to discuss or that you felt like were, I don't know, super impactful to you or they stick out in your mind?
Well, I mean the Excruciator matchup, at least day one, yeah, that Excruciator matchup was funny, but I think the two biggest games, one being a very positive game and one being a negative game, the two that stuck out to me were day one. I played against Spelementals, and that matchup's great. Very supposed to be very easy. I managed to lose game one to some fast crabs, and then game two I sideboarded and I sideboarded pretty fast, and I'm looking at my sideboard as I'm like, playing turn one. I was like, wait a minute, because I had a flashback in my hand. I'm like, I thought I boarded these out, and I left the flash freezes in, boarded in the flashback. I kept in the flashbacks as I boarded in rest in peace, and I lost game two with a rest in peace in play because I had a flashback all game that would have been a flash freeze to save me. And then on the last turn, I'm like, I need to draw, this or something, or like draw something here because I'm dying. And I drew the flashback off my emeritus ancestral recall, and I was like, I deserve that one. So that one was a rough one. That was like a morale tank. But then in a top eight against Omniscience, that was definitely my favorite game, my favorite match of the weekend. I mean, that was a crazy, crazy game that I don't think I was supposed to win, and I don't know how I pulled it out of my opponent's clutches.
Yeah, let's talk. I think that was probably the most interesting match from a coverage perspective too for all of us because I, I didn't have like clear view of what was going on the whole time, but some people said that the opponent missed lethal multiple times or something like that, that they could have used their activated land to make a hasty robot and haste one of their creatures and kill you. Did you see that at all, that they missed that? Or
Oh yeah, I was sitting there knowing I was dead. I mean, to be fair to my opponent, he is playing. It's not just that, like, it's not as simple as like, oh, I don't even realize that I have, lethal. He's playing around me having certain things, which I
mm,
do get. So it's much easier to like watch the game online and be like, oh, why didn't he just go for it? When there was definitely stuff he was playing around. But I think he at some point he just had to go for it, and the fact that he just wouldn't commit to it multiple turns, it's like definitely should have done it. Gave me the opportunity to win there. And
so do you think he was like short on land drops or something and didn't want to sacrifice a land because he wouldn't have been able to cast stuff if he did have it or something like that? I don't, because
I th- I think it was that, but he wanted to commit. Like he showed me his hand after the game, and he was kind of sitting on very little, so he just wanted to
mm,
cast his dragons. He wanted to get his 5/5s into play, get some more value. But to be honest, I don't really know. He definitely was starting to lose his lands for making the robots. So maybe it was like, hey, I don't want to sack all my lands. But at some point, like, you gotta go for it. You can't just sit there, casting one 5/5 and then passing.
right.
I actually spoke to. It was interesting. I spoke to the other control player in the top eight prior to the game, and he was
Yeah,
telling me earlier. He was like, "This is our worst matchup," which I don't think is true. I think
I
I don't know.
agree.
I think that was a little bit of like he's expecting the opponent to have it every game, with voice, uncounterable, and then combo, and it's like whatever. But he was telling me it's bad, but he was telling me that he's seen my opponent, and that my opponent was not going to cast a Kona into open mana ever unless they had multiple Konas and were fine like just giving one up. And that was interesting. He was like he just won't do it. And then one of the games, actually, I think it was game one, I had some kind of removal in hand, but it wasn't a seer, and I was just like, I just need to go for this tablet. I just need to play it out there because I'm not winning this game if I don't. And I played the tablet, and I don't know if he had the combo or not. I forgot to
Uh,
ask, but I he had an Ashling in play, and he's like, Trigger, is that good? And I was like, I have to like fake this as good as I can. I was like, oh, with the trigger on the stack, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, I got no seer in hand. I got absolutely nothing. I was praying because I was on that one seer. I was like, if I tablet and I mill the seer here and just show I have absolutely nothing, that'd be the silliest way to lose. But 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 I didn't. I don't know if he did actually have it, but I held up the 2 mana. I was like just pretending, and that tablet allowed me to cast an early Jeskai Rev, which got there.
sick.
Nice. So was that you 2-0'd that match, right? The semis?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It
so I
didn't
get
seem like it from how long that game went on, but yeah.
yeah, so I get out of work and I'm able to throw it on and it's the semis and you're at one life. And that was amazing to watch that finish. You
For
were at
sure.
one life for like 20 minutes or
Oh
something
yeah,
crazy.
I
It
think
was
I
nuts.
went. If I'm not mistaken, I think I went up life as I was at one, and then I went back down again. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it was crazy.
You definitely were like get hit by a robot and something else. Like you were treading water, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, High
So I
Noon's
want to
a
talk.
heck of a card.
Oh, bro, what it shined in that top
MVP.
eight for you,
MVP.
man. It
Oh
was
yeah. Every
so
match.
good.
Every match.
Yeah. Um, I want to talk about the judge call. Is that cool? I think the one where you cast a kick consult, but
Oh
you
yeah.
didn't realize that River Pyre Verge did not produce blue. Um, so I guess I'm assuming an honest mistake, but how did they resolve that? Were you okay with the way they resolved that? Because in my opinion, it looked like they completely reversed the spell and then had you recast it. Whereas I feel like they should have just taken the cards off the bottom and had you pick one. So I thought that it was weird that they put them all back, reshuffled it, and had you recast the spell. Like, what do you think about that? And what happened? I don't know. Like I said, it was
Yes.
a little bit difficult from the side to see exactly how it all went down.
Yeah, so I literally was telling myself like, "Oh, remember this taps for red and it's so hard like on feature match with all those like nerves." And when I cast it, I knew it was okay, but I was so nervous. I was like, "Oh, shoot, I did something wrong. Like
Yeah,
this is bad look for sure." But what actually happened, that it was a pretty easy fix, but it was definitely a little confusing. The judge pulled me aside and he was like, "I just have to know, like, are you planning? I don't know what this took into consideration, but he was like, are you planning to do something else?" And I'm like, I don't know. I'd have to check my, like, I don't know what I'm doing now that I, can only play it for one. I was pretty sure I was gonna still cast it for just not kick this time because I needed a
right.
land drop, which is why I was
You were
missing there.
yeah.
But he, yeah, they had me shuffle, and it took I actually took the land. I got the land and a get lost from the kick. That's what I was getting, and then they had me reshuffle, and I I was like, please just give me a land, and I didn't see a land, but I found something else that was good, but like I didn't see a land there, and I was like, oh shoot, like I just kind of screwed myself not having another land from the console.
So they did make you reshuffle, right? They had you put it all back
Yeah,
and reshuffle. See, I thought that is.
yeah.
Did you disagree with that? Like, do you know how your opponent felt about that? Like, what?
Me and my opponent were both chill with it. I mean, I
Okay.
get the fix. It's weird because they also want it to be like they don't want me to like um gain in like do something different because I don't think they can be like, hey, just cast it. Like if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they can be like that because decisions change. That's a different spell in the stack. I don't know. Maybe it isn't, but they shuffling the deck. It is a little people are saying that it is a little weird because it's like you get different options now. Like it's maybe you were doing that to get different cards, but it was just, I mean, it's still randomized. They shuffled my deck. I mean, I shuffled my deck and it was completely randomized, and I actually ended up missing the land that I originally had. So I think I would have preferred to get that other console. But the fix made sense to me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that does make sense, right? Because they're rewinding the game to before you cast it, so then you have to
Exactly.
recast
And
it,
then,
right?
yeah, and they kept the card that I had, I think from the Mulligan, I had bottom of card, so they kept that. So it was like basically the exact same situation. Um, because,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I guess you had that information, so if they were going to rewind it anyway, I feel like knowing what cards you saw in the consult, yeah, and maybe that's why they were asking you if you weren't sure what you would do because I guess to me, like maintaining the integrity of the game and match would have been to just force you to cast it for one and say these are the cards here, pick one. But I don't know. I guess I can understand that now you're kind of changing how you're casting the spell or you're changing what you're doing with your mana, and that may have, the information that you gather from looking at those cards may have influenced that in some way. So I guess I can understand the judge's logic in that, but regardless, for me, my favorite play of top eight was because on Friday we deliberated a lot about like Thunder Magic versus Firebending Lesson, and my logic, obviously, the one mana mode of Thunder Magic and Firebending Lesson are the same. You can kick Firebending Lesson to deal 5, and you can kind of whatever it's called, spree or whatever it is in Final Fantasy. You can pay 4 to do 4, or you can pay 7 to deal 8. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, what are you gonna kill that has, more than 5 toughness? Like there in the top decks, there's literally like nothing. Like,
Yeah.
you think about elementals, you think about spell elementals. The only deck that we could think of was like Excruciator. And I'm like, well, that has 6 toughness. Like, are you really gonna be spending 7 mana to kill a Doomsday Excruciator? When you killed that Meringue River Regent with a full value Thunder Magic, I was like, this dude right here, man, like what the heck? Like it was like, told you so, Joe. That's kind
Yeah.
of how I felt. So
Yeah, I mean, I picked the Thunder Magic mainly for the 4 mana, deal 4, because the only matchup that you need to deal 5 in really is Spellmentals, and that's already such a good matchup. But the
yeah,
the 8 damage, actually, that wasn't the first time it came up in the tournament for me. I think I killed something in Landfall or Excruciator. There was definitely a match where I also paid 7 there. So card came up. I was
that's
psyched to
crazy.
be playing the Thunder Magic.
That's yeah.
Yeah, don't forget it also kills Riddler. So
Yeah, exactly. That's
Okay,
that's one of the
Riddler.
things I
Yeah.
mentioned. But there's not many
Okay.
Riddlers in the meta right now. But yeah, it does come up.
Yeah, pretty much just Momo's playing Riddler.
Yeah.
Okay.
and
Well,
some lessons decks.
yeah, might be higher on Thunder Magic now. We'll see. Um, yeah, anything else from the tournament or just like the experience that you care to share that was like
There's actually a
really
couple. It was a really interesting RC for me. Well, one, there was the whole Jeskai Revelation situation where me and you came in. We both only had 3 Jeskai revs, and I was like, "There's no way a vendor doesn't have it. Nobody has it."
oh
And
yeah.
then some random dude comes up to us like, "Hey, I'm missing a Jeskai rev," and he ended up switching off the deck because he was missing it, and gave us each a Jeskai rev. And then he's still there when he was following me all the way in the
Yeah.
top 8, like with you guys. That was so sick. That dude's awesome.
Yeah,
And
Dominic.
yeah, Dom, yeah. And it was first time meeting him, dude. It was awesome. And then also earlier in the tournament, I actually had I think it was round 3. I got a concession, just a really nice guy. He was just like, "Yo, I'm not in the right state to keep going. I don't want to take that from you, so I'm just gonna scoop." But pass it forward, and dude was so chill. So
That's
early in the
crazy.
tournament, yeah, dude, it was awesome. He was just like, "Yo, let's just grab food instead of playing Magic." Um,
Legit.
so yeah,
That's awesome.
great experience.
Yeah, we actually went to dinner with Dominic after you left with your dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I ended up like I saw him later day one and was like, "Yo, dude, I have $3. Like, take this for those Jeskai revs." And he's like, "Dude, I don't care." I'm like, "Whatever, man. Like, it's literally all the money I have in my wallet." And that's about what they were worth, right? Like $1.50 or something like that. Maybe $1.75 a piece. So, but yeah, him and Jacob from Idaho. It's like just from out there, man. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was special. Like just and honestly for me, this was the worst I had ever done at an RC. I went 4-4 day one. I just kind of had some I felt like I had some draws where I drew too many land and uh I mean I think I made a few errors in how I played that might have cost me a game here or there, but really I just remember a lot of my losses coming from just like flooding. Um which was a little miserable, but it is what it is. And so going into day two, I know a lot of the guys didn't make day two. I think it was just you and Vinny, right? We talked at the end of the day. And
Yeah.
so I went and played in the Super Sunday RCQ. I went 5-1 in that. I got an invite, so that was cool. But then I honestly just assumed that we were kind of all done, that like you and Vinny hadn't gotten any better. And so when I finished my tournament, I went over and found Vinny, and he's like, "Little Zach top eighted." I'm like, "What?" Just like you gotta be kidding me, dude. Like, so that was huge. And by the way, we can't call you Little Zach anymore. Like if this is a reason not to call you Little Zach, this has got to be it. So no more Little Zach. Um,
I I I think I feel like it's gonna go for a little bit. That's stuck with me for a long time though now, so I don't know. I might be
yeah,
getting called Lil Zach for a long time.
we'll see. We'll see. I'll try. We'll try and turn people away from that.
I'm gonna start calling you Big Zach.
There's no other Zach even there. It's just I'm little and I'm big Zach.
So before we talk about the BNR, are there any of these other RCs you guys want to look at? Any lists that you've kind of checked out and I don't know, want to take a look at? No?
No,
Yes?
not for me at least. I didn't even check. I didn't know what was going on the rest of the weekend. I was just like I was walked in. I haven't even taken a look.
I
Okay.
know what that dude on the Sultai control deck made top 8 in Cincy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What
I played his
was
teammate in in the round one. I lost round one to his teammate to like him deadly covering up all my win cons, and then his like the guy made the maker of the deck. I think he was the one that like really built the deck, made top eight, and he was like, "Yo, I gotta take a picture for my friend because you played him round one. Like he made it all the way here." So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I this looks wild. Have you seen this Arcane Omens included in some of the four color control lists? Can you see
No, I
that?
haven't.
So
Show
Arcane
me more.
Omens is an uncommon from Strixhaven. It's four and a black for a sorcery. Target player discards X cards, where X is the number of colors of mana spent to cast this spell. Um, Doing this on
Oh, I
turn
actually.
four against your opponent is probably pretty cracked. Like,
Yeah, that might just be game over. I actually had my friend text me. I wasn't really paying attention, but I had my friend text me like while we were submitting decks, like you should just play this card. And I didn't know what he was talking about to be honest. But he was telling me about some converged discard spell. But yeah, no, this card looks pretty good. I also know there was the card you were trying to run, the Together as One.
yeah, I felt like we needed something other than Jeskai Rev that was just a little like had the same kind of value spectrum, but was a little bit cheaper. I think it's correct to just play 4 Rev because for one more mana, you get so much more advantage. I mean, the two creatures, you get to deal with two things. You know, you're
This
getting a few
this
less cards generally, but
Yeah,
go
this
ahead.
person's
I
on
think
4.
four together as one, yeah.
Oh, here it
I
is.
think you're supposed to be on the Jeskai revs, but I actually was interested in, maybe like one together as one because it's kind of cool to like play the thing on, tablet turn 3, turn 4 have like a together as one into a turn 5 Jeskai revs. It's pretty sick. But yeah, I think the you had no matter what, you got to be on the 4 Jeskai rev.
Huh. This is kind of this is crazy. Yeah, so this is
You
the
know what's
Chinese
you know what the craziest thing
list.
about this list is?
What? Sorry,
That
I'll get back to you.
untimely that untimely malfunction is a $10 card.
I was looking at that. I cannot believe that. That is
that's
crazy.
What
that's
is
nuts.
so one in a red instant. Choose one. Destroy target artifact. Change the target of a spell or ability with a single target. One or two target creatures can't block this turn. That does have a lot of text on it.
Yes. Well, it's
That could be pretty
$10
good.
on Card Kingdom, so
Let's
Yeah, it
see.
better have some good text on it.
Let's see how much it is on
Uncommon.
TCG. Dang, what? $6?
that's
Uncommon from a recent set is crazy. I'm looking at some of these card prices too. Like, I mean, that's the craziest one, but like, since when is like RAL $21 and Voice of Victory 30? These are some
I
crazy
don't know.
prices.
wow.
Some
So let
RC inflation.
well, Card Kingdom too is
Yeah,
usually
that's true.
10% more, 20% more.
Yeah, they charge more.
Do you know how if I cast like a redirect lightning or an untimely malfunction targeting Jeskai Revelation, do I get to
So,
change all the targets or is it just one of the modes?
you can't target it because it's, if I'm not mistaken, they say a spell with only one target, and Jeskai Rev targets two things. So same with like you couldn't retarget, I guess technically like a what's the 3 mana white card that puts counters on everything because it has two different targets on the card.
Hmm. We'll have to look at that. Pete and I were talking about that today. We had our locals today. I just want to share my kind of highlight play of the week. I think it was round two. It was round two or three where I'm playing against Prowess. My opponent plays two elusive otters and a storm chaser's talent on his turn two. That's what he has in play. Hits me for one, says go. I untap, slam a tablet, and flip over a fire magic and kill all the stuff. And I'm like, dude, that is crazy. That felt so good when that happened.
Yeah, I
But
remember you telling me that. You told me you apologized to the guy after you did it.
I was like, bro, I'm so sorry that you had to deal with that. He was cool though. He was a super cool guy. All right, so let's talk about the BNR. So no changes in standard. Any heartburn about that from either of you guys?
I think we're in a I don't it's not the best spot, but it's definitely a good spot. I think, it's
Yeah.
hard to get a format that's like crazy healthy, and this is, pretty close to it. There's a few standout decks for sure, but nothing is like crazy broken, unbeatable.
Yeah. I think Storm
Yeah,
Chaser's talent was the only consideration.
no, I'd have to agree with Zach here. Like, if you listen to all the doomer streamers,
Yeah.
standard sucks. It's the worst, but I like it a lot. I can't decide what to play in DC because there's that many options. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's like it was looking like Landfall's the best deck, and then has a 0% conversion rate into the top 32, coming
Yeah.
in as
Yeah,
like the most popular deck or the second most popular deck. And Prowess is great, but like it wasn't like crazy this weekend. And like, yeah, I think it's changing well. I think standard for the last like little while has been really good. I've been enjoying playing it.
yeah, and I just don't like everybody crying about is it all the time when they forget like before Corey Steelcutter was printed, is it wasn't playable for years in standard.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like everybody has like this expectation that it's going to be the healthiest thing, and there's no best deck, and it's like that. That's going to how Magic's going to work. I think we're in a good spot right now.
So standard, no changes. Sounds like we're all pretty fine with that. Pioneer, Corey Steelcutter is banned. What format's that? Like,
Yeah, exactly. I don't even. I'm going to be honest. They said that was banned. I didn't even know if it was already banned coming into this. Like, I haven't looked at Pioneer in 2 years or something. And I'm
yeah.
gonna be honest. I hope I don't have to look at it. I think they said it's gonna be a thing for 2027 or something. But I do not want to play Pioneer.
I'm
I
excited.
Oh, then
That's my
I
go-to.
got some bad news for you. So it it's all but confirmed, right? Pioneer in 2027. They did on the stream yesterday that Blake was talking to the play team, and it is in the works. And then Carmen said something along the lines of what that's why we made a ban. So it's either going to be a season or a spotlight. I'm guessing. We'll see when they
I'm
actually do the
praying it's
official
not a
announcement.
season. But I expect it. I expect there to be at least one Pioneer season. But I mean, if there isn't, I'd be psyched.
So modern. We're in the modern RCQ season. Obviously, we've got 2 more weeks for DC. Um, but then after that, it's kind of like full steam ahead on modern. The Pro Tour
Runs
is going to be
till
modern.
Yep.
Would you say?
Modern season runs through August,
Yeah.
or is it? Okay.
And then September, October are the two RCs, kind of like early to mid September, and then early October are the modern RCs. So even if they change the next RCQ format to be modern, is it going to be modern or standard? Do we know yet?
No idea.
I don't know.
After
Don't
this
know.
season, this
Okay.
modern season after that, no clue
Yeah.
what they're doing. They might do a Pioneer because it's been so long, but I don't know.
So Flage is banned. Do we think that? I think Blink is probably cooked without Flage. Is that fair to say?
Yeah,
Jeskai
I think
Blink?
I
Yeah.
think I think that's the big thing. I think Blink is just kind of gone now. Maybe it sticks around with some like blue white version or something. I don't know. But I think yeah, I think that deck's gone. I think Energy's still very much alive, but I don't think there's any more Blink.
And so you think Boros Energy is still gonna be good enough to keep battling?
Yeah, I think I don't know how it'll look. I don't know if it'll still be the top deck, but I think it's still very much alive
Okay.
without Flage.
I'm interested to see how it pans out because I think Flage gave Boros Energy a late game plan that was relevant. Whereas like now, I feel like their late game plan is going to be reloading with seasoned pyromancers or something like that. I don't know. I just don't know if
Well,
that's going to be good enough. It might be.
yeah, I think they should go Mardu.
And
Go back
play.
to black for Bowmasters and a couple of Obnixilis and call it a day.
Maybe
Okay.
that 2 mana black enchantment that they were running, the like
Chthonian
nightmare
Nightmare.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
card
yeah.
was
People are already trying that, so think it looks good.
All right. Lotus Field is Titan still. I mean, does this bring Titan down far enough?
I don't know. I think Titan's still tier one. What I
Yeah.
was looking at when I was looking at this, I was like, it's mostly about the unbanned card, and like, I think the bans like they affect Blank very heavily, and I think they make Energy weaker and Titan like a slight bit weaker. But for the most part, like I still see Energy and Titan being two of like the top decks.
Yeah, Titan like Canister posted two lists today, right? And one is still can do like an infinite analyst loop. You know, it's just
How do
it's
you
not. I
do
don't.
the?
It.
How do you do that?
He posted about it. I don't
Hmm.
think it's going anywhere.
Yeah, and I think that was like such a small thing from the Titan deck. It was like I'd say one of like the much less impactful cards in the deck. And I think that other like it's interesting with that deck. I think as long as you don't ban Titan or Amulet, it's like those are the two glass cannons. But everything else, like you could ban something, and it's like it's probably still very much alive. Any card.
Hmm. Yeah, I'll have to look here in a second, but I can't find it immediately. Okay, so we'll talk about the unbans. I think we'll talk about the easy one first. Umazawa's Jite. I personally will be shocked if it has a huge impact or even a meaningful impact on the format. Am I smoking crack or
Yeah. I would love to see it do well. I'm sure someone's gonna try to build something with it. But yeah, I don't know what. There's no current decks that I see it like slotting into super well.
yeah, I don't think Stoneforge Mystic is like Hammer. When was the last time we've heard about Hammer? It just like hasn't been a deck for so long. And I don't think Jite is gonna make it any different. So Violent Outburst, on the other hand, that is a powerful magic card that I think, you know, basically reinvigorates two decks that had a huge share of the modern metagame before Violent Outburst was banned in Rhinos and
Living End.
Living End. So now I don't know if Living End has enough interaction to be where you want, like without grief. I know that uh, what's the big dude from New Orleans? What's his name? He did well
Jody
at the
Keith.
Jody Keith. Yeah, he was running a Sultai list with Deceit, which did a pretty
Yep.
good grief impression. But I mean, I don't think that you can run Deceit and play red for Violent Outburst. So I think it kind of goes
No.
back to
Yeah, they pretty much lose Deceit if they go back to Teamer.
right, which is what you would
But
want to do, right?
yeah.
So I
And yeah,
just
and a turn outburst with force negation backup's pretty good.
yeah, I agree.
Not too good against a replicated consign, but still
Yeah,
good.
I feel like I guess I just think that consign in the meta feels pretty hard for Violent Outburst. So I'm glad that they unbanned it because I think that it shakes up the format a lot, and I think we will see a revival of those two decks in a meaningful way. But with consigns running around, I'm just not sure that it will be good enough. So we'll see.
Right, and that was their reasoning for unbanning it, right? Is that there's more answers now in Vexing Bauble and Consign.
Yeah. So our consigns $25 a piece now, or what? Like,
I think so, yeah. And I think it's not gonna be as broken as it was, but I mean, consign was already in the meta. Like, I don't know. I think
it
I could
wasn't in
still
the meta
see
when
that.
they banned it, right?
Was it not?
I
I was
No,
pretty sure.
it was banned 2 years ago.
Was it banned 2 years ago? Is that really?
yeah.
Dang, I'm tripping then. I thought consign was damn, consigns are $2. Gotta
Yeah.
get on that. That's crazy. Um, I don't know why. I thought consign was already there when Outburst got banned. But if not, I mean, yeah, I see that also stopping it. But like, I think the decks are still gonna be really good. And it's interesting. It's always interesting because like Crashing Footfalls is like the superior deck, like with its proactiveness and like its ability to interact and then just kind of play one thing. Like you don't need to do anything to set it up. You just like slam a Violent Outburst or a Shardless Agent. And then Living End is always the deck that like counters Rhinos because it stops their plan. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. So let's talk about what we would play for DC. First off, Zach, I'm assuming you're not going to DC.
I am.
You
I
are.
We booked it. This is the first time ever we have booked a Magic event like in advance. We're always very last minute, but this one we're going from DC to go visit like our family on the East Coast, and we
Okay.
booked it prior to Cincinnati. So we're locked in for it. Maybe some homie
Nice.
scoops, maybe some money. I
Hey.
was telling myself at first I was like annoyed, but then I'm like I get to play Magic, which I love to do, so it'll just be fun. And
Yeah.
also like if you think about it, if I do good, I'll just get money, so it won't be bad, and I won't care about missing invites because I'm already going. And then if I do bad, I would have done I would have gone and done that anyway. So there you go.
Nice, a victory lap.
Yeah.
So Pete, w- so are you gonna run four color back, Zach?
Because all my friends want to run four color now. All my like kid friends are texting in the group chat that they want to run
They're
four
gonna
color. So we'll see. We'll
borrow
fight
your
over it.
stuff. Yeah.
We'll fight over it. I'd like to run four color, but if I get to run something new, that'll be interesting.
Pete, what are you looking at? What are your go-tos?
I was leaning Mardu or Lessons, but you told me not to play Mardu, so looks like we're going Lessons.
Yeah. So Zach, did you play against Mardu at all?
That was my winning in for top eight.
Did you 2-0 them?
No, very very close. I was at in that game. I relied on a top deck, and he got me game one. I got him game two because he kept a one lander and never drew a land. And
Yeah.
then game three, I consulted into an inevitable defeat and then ripped inevitable defeat. But that game was looking really bad. It was very close.
I felt
I
pretty good against it. So I played. I didn't play it any in the main event, but I played it twice in the Super Sunday RCQ. I played it round 3 and round 6, and it was close. It was super close. He exactsied me the game that he won, and I don't feel like there was really anything I could do to play around that when he was on the play. But um, otherwise, I just felt like I had enough spot removal to deal with their things, and if I got to Jeskai Rev, and once I started doing that, it was kind of like over with. Just use your life source use your life total as a resource, and I don't know. That's the reason why I said that to you so strongly, Pete, is I just felt like I did well against it twice, and I don't know.
right,
I felt like
and
lessons
we
would be.
should expect to see a lot more control this weekend now too. So
Yeah,
I would
but
think. So,
yeah.
so let's do some
Um,
testing.
yes, sir. We got to do that. What about modern? What are you guys feeling for modern? Do you want to say what you would play in modern?
No
Gosh,
idea.
yeah.
I've been playing casually, like I played a couple serious decks at the RCQs, but I've been playing creativity, which I'm obviously, I got the Pro Tour in 2 months, and I'm not taking that, but I got no idea right now. We'll see.
Pete, what do you want to tell them about what you're playing?
Oh yeah, yeah. So we got RCQ this weekend. I'll probably play Grixis Reanimator, something with Frog in it, or Rakdos Hollow One.
Nice.
I was
We'll see.
I was talking to Lucas. Lucas, he was brewing because he's a big energy guy, and he doesn't know how Boros is going to be. He was brewing Azorius Energy, and then some guy with a slightly different list won the challenge with that. So that maybe that's an
Hmm.
interesting option.
Yeah, I would play Affinity or an Orm's Chant deck, especially with, I feel like this early in the unban, this weekend, people are going to be wanting to play their,
Violent
Living End
Outbursts.
or yeah, they're going to want to be sleeving up their Violent Outbursts and feeling that dopamine
Perfect.
smack again. So we'll see.
All right, I'm just gonna play Hollow One with four Vexing Baubles in the side.
It's probably not a bad idea.
I think Thoughtseize just got a lot better
I can see that.
with Flage gone.
Hadn't even considered that. Yeah. Well, Zach, we appreciate you joining us, man. Seriously, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I was happy to be here. Good to
Yeah,
talk. I,
congr-
I owed you after you stayed with me the entire
Nah,
event.
nah, not at all. Me, Jack. I think
yeah,
it was just cool, that we talked about our deck list and then you were like, this is it, and did it, man. So that's sweet. I was pretty hype about that.
yeah. Congrats again, Zach. Thank you for coming on and just keep mogging everybody, dude. Chat was going crazy.
My friends were sending me was there was a lot of people talking about like my muscles and mogging, but then I also saw a couple. I think one of my friends sent me one. It was like protein fart one with his boring deck. There was some funny comments. There were some funny
I
comments.
missed that one. I just saw people talking about you mogging all your opponents all weekend.
Yeah, that
Crazy.
was pretty funny.
Well, man, I'm excited to see you guys in DC already.
Yeah,
So we'll
Yeah, it's
we'll
gonna be
link up
awesome.
then, and
maybe one of you guys will win this time. We'll get to
that would be
follow
so
you.
sick. That'd be so sick. Yeah, man, put a guide together and make some money off that. All right.
I'm doing it right now. I'm doing
All
it
right.
right now. I've been lazy. It's hard to start, but
Yeah.
I'm getting on it.
Well, we'll let you
Uh,
get to that
yeah, and let us know. We'll blast it on Twitter.
for sure.
Appreciate it. Thank you
Yeah.
guys.
Is there any social media information that you want to provide to people so if they want to, they can follow you?
I mean, you can find me. I think my Instagram is Zach underscore Aymie Aymie, and I think that's the only social media I really use. That's kind of it.
Okay. Well, if you've listened thus far, we appreciate it. Listen or watch. We got video now. Um, we appreciate it. Be sure to follow us on YouTube, X, Blue Sky, Spotify. We're going to be expanding to Apple Podcasts here soon. I know a lot of people, for whatever reason, don't want to download Spotify, which it is what it is. And I think Apple Podcasts, the iPhone platform being much more widely used, we'll probably get a few more followers if we expand into that. But in any case, we appreciate it. Another RC champ in the books, Pete. Big congrats,
Let's
Zach.
go.
Thank you
Congrats.
guys.
It's
All right,
amazing.
everybody.
All right, my guys.
Peace.
Peace.